Hello, everyone. We're live. Let's give it a couple of minutes so people can join in. Just to say, Ana Victoria Torres, Communications Manager at Wattsense. We are happy to have you be part of this webinar. We are joined today by Romain Philipon, Account Executive at Wattsense, and Thanos Daskalopoulos from Delphis. He's the Chief Innovative Officer of Delphis. So we're very happy to have him with us today. So while people join in, I'm just going to mention some important housekeeping items that I will also mention via our chat. But just so you know, a recorded version of this webinar will be available for you guys. You will receive it via email as a replay, so you can watch this and share after the session is ended. The presentation that we will be using is also available for download during the webinar itself and also as the replay version. So you can also download and share as a PDF. And at the end of the session or the presentations from Roman and Thanos, we will have a questions and answer section. So feel free to ask your questions during the webinar or during their presentations. And if they are not addressed during the session, we will try to address all the questions possible during the questions and answers section at the end. So hopefully that's all good. We have a chat. Also, you can tell me if everyone is hearing everything okay, or if you have any sound issues at one point, or any other comments that you would like to address. So if you can give me a go ahead that you're listening to me perfectly, all good. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much. Nick is also typing. Thank you, Nick. Trudy, excellent. Thank you guys for answering and giving me your feedback. So I think now that we've got all of that out of the way, we can get to the good stuff and we can have our amazing account executive, Romain Philipon, join us. Romain, take it away.
Thank you, Anna. Hi, everybody. So my name is Romain Philipon. I'm in charge of all the sales for Wattsense. Okay, so few words on Wattsense, and then I will describe a bit more. Our mission is to make building more connected by simplifying IoT and BMS integration. Company was created in 2017 by River Morel. We're based in France, as you might notice from my accent. We are a growing team of 27 members right now, and we're based in Lyon. We used to be a startup. Well, we're still a startup, but we have been acquired in October last year by Siemens. We're part of the Siemens group. We stay autonomous, and we keep the agility and the way to develop things as a startup mood. This one. Okay. To go in more detail,
I can't pause it.
Okay, thank you. We created a plug-and-play multi-protocol gateway, which is versatile, interoperable, and easy to deploy. Gateway is compatible with LoRaWAN, BACnet IP, Modbus IP, Modbus ITU, MBus, wireless MBus, LON, KNX, LPB, which is a lot of protocol used in the building environment, and all this protocol can be connected simultaneously. So we can indeed connect various equipment at the same time, such as energy meters, HVAC, we will see later on with Thanos, sensors as well, boilers, regulators, and even BMS. Data can be either converted locally or they can be sent to a cloud, to a server with a 4G SIM card. We have some functionality, which I'm going to go a bit later on. We can convert certain protocols, such as LoRaWAN to BACnet IP, LoRaWAN to Modbus IP, KNX to BACnet, which is a local conversion so that data can be read locally. As opposed to traditional BMS, Wattsense solution is very easy to install, and all software and updates are automatic. Installation is performed by an electrician in few hours. There's no point to call an integrator and spend many time to connect the device. Of course, it's less costly than traditional BMS. We get the connection for a fraction of the price. We are open connectivity, and we like the word interoperability because the brand of the equipment we want to connect does not really matter. We can connect any type of brand, providing the protocol of communication is available. The solution is as per the slide. We've got the building on one side, the gateway looks like that. See my camera, it's quite compact, holding my hands. And we have what we call a user console, which is a web page where all the configuration and the selection of property for each equipment is carried out. After that, we can integrate to any third part, to any platform. We are very agnostic, and you can deploy other type of apps, such of course as Delphis on the HVAC system, and all the expertise and this way to optimize the HVAC system is done by Delphis. But you can also get some energy, such as Proptech. We can have some solution on comfort of the occupation, on the proactive maintenance, on air quality, on various things which make the building better, of course, to operate and better to be used. Next one. Wattsense is a connectivity solution. So we don't have any deep brain, deep intelligence on the solution. We're connecting on purely the brick of connectivity on how to make the building with or without a BMS connected. So plug and play installation, plug that on a railing or install in the control room. Very easy, and we can connect, of course, every type of equipment within the building. Very quick, couple of hours to install. We see in various high schools that we have in different countries, usually 2 or 3 hours is sufficient to connect the building. And the way to use the configuration and to use this console that we have is very intuitive. There's no need to have some knowledge in programming. We have a no-code approach where everything can be done very easily. Our idea behind that is like 12-year-old kids can go online and try to do the configuration. That would probably work. Very small amount of training is required because it's just so intuitive that it can be done with very limited knowledge on automation. And of course, the user-friendly console, it's what people ask for. So they can have some functionality. We have some basic dashboard, we've got some alarms, and we've got some graphic mode to have a quick overview of the equipment which are connected. The idea is for you to keep control of a building. A building can be quite complicated. You get many things, many equipment, can be quite intimidating. Is to have a best solution to manage your building on a very easy way. So, of course, we have very open solution, and the keyword is interoperability. Any type of equipment, providing it has open protocol, can be connected. Any type of sensors, any type of meters. That's the strength of Wattsense solution. Of course, we are aware of the new European decree on the new regulation, namely the EPBD decree, which will be in application on the 1st of January 2025. We are comply to that decree, and we believe that we can be a very good asset to get your building connected and to be within this decree for the next few years. Last point on cybersecurity. Of course, that's a very important topic for us. We've got all the cybersecurity detail on our architecture level on our website, and we keep, of course, that question very seriously. To go into more detail on how it works, that's an image of a typical building. So, of course, you get many equipment, but that's the vast majority of equipment you can find in a hotel, in a residence, in a retail shop, in airports, as we see later with Thanos, shopping mall as well. We got some case study, which it will be described to you. The box is installed on the substation, on the electrical cabinet, and we can connect with a wired or wireless all the equipment that you can see, such as HVAC, chillers, sensor, ventilation, regulators. We've got various type of equipment. And something important to notice, we have a database of around 700 equipment which are already decoded. So all the integration is pre-made. You don't have to have high knowledge on how to connect a sensor, how to pair another type of equipment. There's a strong chance, like a big chance, that the equipment you would like to pair is already registered within our database. When I say registered, it means the integration is done. So we had a codec and a payload if it's a sensor, or we had a table of exchange and a register if it's a Modbus serial equipment. So the integration being already made is very simple, very easy, and very quick to pair few equipments. Everything is done online thanks to the 4G SIM card that we provide for the configuration, and is accessible from the web page, the console of configuration, from anywhere, any laptop or any smartphone, something very convenient. So you can even remove, add, or change property remotely. You don't have to go on site to do this task. Some example of building we are connecting right now. Some bank agency to monitor some parameters for the comfort of the clients. Some high schools, primary school, nursery as well. We have that in various countries in Europe and in Australia as well. Some residents, some office buildings, some hotel, retail shop is a type of building which doesn't necessarily have a BMS right now, but which have to be connected within the next few years. Just to finish right now, we have around 200 clients worldwide. Of course, we are based in France, so we have a big focus on Europe, UK, the Nordic country, Germany, Switzerland, Greece, thanks to Thanos, and Portugal and Iberic countries. That's very big growth for us. Also, another focus is on North America and the US and Canada. And we do also have a strong business in Southeast Asia, in Singapore, Australia, thanks to a partner we have done there. That's about it for me. You've got my contact and my email on that slide. Of course, I would be happy to answer your question or to have a proper demo if you wish. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. And now I'm going to give the hand to Thanos.
Thank you, Romain. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I'm very happy and excited to present. I'm Thanos Daskalopoulos, and I lead innovation for a Greek company called Delphis. I've been with Delphis since 2004, mainly in services-related roles. And lately, I do all the innovation activities for the company. Just to give you a quick insight on Delphis, we do HVAC and refrigeration. And the DNA of the company is what we call a solutions company. And that means we go and talk to the customer, to the end user, and try to really understand their problem and specify their needs. And from our portfolio of services, products, we offer the solution to them. We were founded back in 1976. And let's say the three business units we're running is selling and giving solutions on equipment side. We also do project management. We can have a whole project as a turnkey solution. And ongoing services, something that I'm related to and what we're going to see today, and I will present for you, which is focusing primarily on the performance of the equipment on an ongoing basis. So the way we define that is that our goal is that our customers need the optimal equipment performance. And traditionally, we all know that this is done by the man-powered services, which we have with our field technicians. This will never go away. We will always be there to support, do maintenance, do troubleshooting, commissioning or recommissioning of the buildings. But at some point, we realized, being inside the systems, that there is a big room of improvement in performance if someone is there real time and all the time. This cannot be done by a man, obviously, by people. So that's when we turned our focus into the data-powered services that we have branded as Delphis Data Services. And let me dive right into that. So it all started back in 2010. And the two problems, high level, we identified with our customers was they either had an energy concern and their costs were too high, or they had some comfort performance issues with their HVAC systems. Back then, we are a group of engineers and we are very proud to be engineers all the time. And we thought back then, no problem, we can write some code and we can start solving these problems. We got some funding to do fault detection and gather a team. I was running this team and started working on our own solution, which was based on this technical overview. So we said, what do we need? We have, first of all, to connect to our units and meters for data collection and or remote control. And then one other part is our data housekeeping, analytics, and finally, controlling, remote control. Our first decision was that we do all of that alone. We thought that we can do that, and what can go wrong? I'm here to share with you today that after a few years of development, the result was not good, and we had huge delays to integrate to equipment. The problem appeared to be much bigger than what we thought it was. We had problems on the software side that, it was too many things on the stack to develop. So some of the things were dysfunctional. The connectivity issues brought some low data quality. So the projects we were selling were not really reliable and really felt bad for us. And finally, we had to hire more and more people to improve that, which at some point brought us to a dead end. And that's when we realized that, we either shut down the project, go back to our traditional business, or we continue. We decided to continue, and I'm happy we did, actually. And what we did was, first of all, set new priorities. We wanted to be flexible. We wanted to adapt to the customer needs. Whenever they asked for us to do something, we wanted to be able to do it. We had to be faster. It was taking way too long to deliver projects, to get the customer requirements. So we were losing projects due to speed. And finally, for me, maybe the most important part is to be robust, to have the correct data, have everything that you need, that the customer can sleep tight and feel relaxed with the solution that you offer. 8 years later, back now in 2018, the problems were the same, and they are the same, but the solution was designed in a completely different approach. We said that we can develop something in the stack, but not everything. And for that, we needed an ecosystem, which we defined as a combination of multiple services from different electronic companies that create a robust and effective solution to a problem. And that's when we said, which went back to our technical overview, and we asked the question, which part do you outsource first? What do you do? My role as innovation director was research a lot, testing a lot, many solutions. And after seeing this whole stack here, we realized the following, that you might have a project which is only data analytics. The customer just needs some KPIs, but you need connectivity. You might have another project where the customer just needs a remote control. And then you also need connectivity. At the end of the day, connectivity seems to be, and it is for us, the main pillar of everything we do. So we were very happy to find Wattsense a few years ago and start operating. We've been with Wattsense since their beta box. I remember the beta days with a very different box. I'm presenting you today the whole ecosystem that we have as Delphis, which for data analytics, it's a bind-box solution that we have developed, a device pilot for data analytics, and also for control, we're working with two other startup companies called Brainbox AI and SynPower. So this is just to give you here the approach that we took, which was completely different. And in order to get into more practical things, we decided to present 3 use cases for you today. One is 14 regional airports, one project of food retail stores, and a mall. Before I dive into each one of those, I want to give you the data journey with this ecosystem of companies that we created. So in the heart of it, from a data perspective, is the workflows that we have. So telemetry is being completely run from Wattsense. Anything that has to do with connectivity and getting the data somewhere reliably is Wattsense. So from edge to the Wattsense cloud, we are able to fetch our data whenever we want. Typically, we do that every 15 minutes. On the metadata side, we have our own software and connectivity that we describe the equipment, we give meaning to this data. And those workflows, each 15 minutes, feed the analytics side of software, where we do the KPIs, the reports. And of course, the monitoring part, which is very, very important in order to troubleshoot any kind of issues that come up and be trustworthy, as we mentioned to our customers. This is just a quick screenshot from the BindBox solution, which is our own way of doing metadata on telemetry. And beneath, you can see a typical workflow, very simple one, fetching Wattsense data, making a decision, and sending that to the right production environment. So the airports here, these are all the airports are around Greece. The customer here wanted 2 projects, actually. One of them was to get a 90% uptime for their equipment. And the second was doing energy management for their stores. So with the help of Wattsense and 28 boxes, we were able to connect 535 equipment from 3 different BMS vendors. And this project has connected air handling units, elevators, escalators, and energy meters. The result is we're very pleased with the result. The customer can report to the authorities their uptime, which is very critical for them. And if they see a problem to an equipment, they can react on real time. And this is the big value that they're getting, that they're able to meet this standard that they have and not falling below 90% of uptime. The second project that I'm giving you briefly today here is a food retail stores customer that has one project. The challenge here was a legacy equipment. So we decided to present this because we had to deal with very old meters with MBUS that other companies were asking the customer to change all the infrastructure. They were asking them to change the meters. So finally, after some research and work with Wattsense, we were able to keep these MBUS meters, connect to them, and deliver a very typical energy management sub-metering project for energy conservation and energy efficiency verification that the customer needed. So this actually saved the customer like a 40K investment to change all the meters. And again, the result is having their data, reliable data, real time, and being able to respond fast whenever we can catch an issue on the energy side. And finally, I would like to share with you a shopping mall project. It's one big building that we have connected one Wattsense box to the BMS, but also added 40 temperature sensors for monitoring space. The issue in this project was that the HVAC system was actually undersized. So the customer really wanted something that they can monitor that, they can know how the HVAC is responding, because they couldn't afford to have one unit not being operational. That was a disaster for them. So they had to really be proactive. If there was an issue in the supply temperature, like call our maintenance people in and do what they had to do to keep the system running for them. As you can see here, they have an overall set point achievement of, let's say, average 50%. And this is to show the criticality of this installation. And the real-time and fast response was, again, important on this situation to be proactive. Now, I would like to cover my presentation and with an eye and a look, let's say a look to the future. This is something we are working on right now. I cannot share a project with you, but this is something we're actively working on. And this has to do with control. We all saw the analytics part, the KPIs, but I think among the industry, it's very known that, okay, you might have that, but it's also important to have automated controls that take over operation and do efficiency. So on that part, we see two pillars. One is HVAC optimization through AI, using predictions, modeling. And this cannot be done if your data is not good. So let's keep it, I want to stress this as important that we have learned, that having a good connectivity solution and your data being robust is the first step towards this new control strategy. And finally, we're working on some new projects which are connecting the HVAC to the grid. And the more renewables are coming into there, then the assets need to be flexible and connected. So again, on that front, with Wattsense, we are able to offer to other partners the gateway to connect and control those assets. I hope I am good on time. I would like to wrap up by the final slide, which is our results for us, for Delphis. What did it mean? And I'll go back to our priorities. The priorities that we saw, for us, they are achieved with numbers. We are counting 0.5% data loss. And that's a huge difference from what we had before. We are able to troubleshoot issues that might be the equipment failing, that might be power failure, it might be something in the workflows that happened. We are able to do that in less than 1 day. And again, this is huge for our business and our relation to the customer, because doing a service business, how fast you are and how reliable you are is probably on the top of the priorities. We are able to deliver on all of those projects. In less than 10 minutes, we can deploy a new KPI. So since you have the data, since you have your metadata, then you just have a query. We have a telephone from our customers that I want to see that, and we send them, don't hang up, and we do that in 5 minutes, done. Again, a huge difference from the past. And finally, connecting new equipment. In the same project, it happens a lot. Since we have the Wattsense box, when we need to connect a new unit or energy meters, With Wattsense, we need less than 50 minutes to deploy that. Again, a big benefit for the service side and the business that we have. So I'd like to thank you so much for joining. I want to thank Anna and Romain for the kind invitation, and I'm very happy we shared the floor today. Thank you most of all. We are happy for joining today, and we're happy to get questions and get some time to interact. Anna.
I'm back. So thank you so much, Thanos, for that insightful presentation. I think now we can do some questions, and already the chat is firing up. Thanks to Inez, Guillaume, Jurgo. Thank you so much, guys, for your really great questions. So right now I'm gonna start by the first question we got from Inez. It's mostly addressed to Roman, I think. So it's about EPBD compliance and what does it mean in terms of what sense? Are we accredited? Is there a labeling process for that? And if not, how do you prove that we achieve some compliance or that we help our clients be compliant towards the BACS decree? So for those that don't know, building automation control system decree. Roman?
So
take it away.
We all know the European Building Directive Performance, EPBD, which will be in application on the 1st of January 2025, and said that the building with more than 290 kilowatt of power will have to be connected and monitored. We don't have any accreditation yet. Of course, we're working on all this decree, which is a very complex decree, many points to answer. We know that with our solution, we can connect equipment, we can collect data, you can get data into a server, and you can send command to an equipment because our solution is bidirectional. We are also aware of some limitation, which we are working on. We had a roadmap full for the next 18 months, probably. And it seemed like a simple subject to connect an equipment from a building and to send a command according to a condition. But actually, the whole complexity of that is how to make it simple. So we will have some feature which will be deployed regularly over the next 18 months. We know that we are to do a bit more on the EPBD, of course, to get the majority of the project will be deployed in Europe. So right now we have some compliance. We know what we do. We know what we have to do to get better. But we, of course, going to be ready way before the 1st of January 2025.
Okay, excellent. So now another question from Guillaume Tamboise. In terms of workflows, I do not seem to be seeing control loops closed locally through the Wattsense box, correct? Or was it implied when you transform data? So Roman addressed it a little bit on the chat, but I think you can go a little further.
That's a good point, Guillaume. We don't have any automated control right now. We do not provide a controller. We provide a connectivity solution. What we know that we can connect equipment and we can send command. The automation or the light automation will come within the next, I would say, year or so, next few months. Something we are working on, some more automated control based on condition and some, let's say, controls of equipment, easy controls. Right now, it is possible to send a command to an equipment from a server or to send a command from an equipment from an existing BMS, PLC, or SCADA if the protocol conversion is available. In terms of protocol conversion, it is indeed very easy and simple with a couple of clicks to convert from LoRaWAN, from Modbus RTU, from KNX to backnet IP or Modbus IP, from where it's possible to modify the register or the backnet object instance so that the existing system will read the value from a sensor or from a regulator.
And we have a project that we did that, just to add that. We had a project that didn't present it here that we translated Modbus to backnet because we needed the expert to be backnet, and that's happened in your console easily. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so another question is, Roman, can you point us to, well, this is also the same topic. Can you point us to information on external system integration with Wattsense? What interfaces are available to insert data from an external system?
By external system, do you mean like any third-part company? Well, that's exactly the case with Delphis. We're integrating with Delphis very easily. We get both the option on the REST API or by MQTT. So it's up to you if you would like to provide your own MQTT broker, or if you're happy with the REST API, the integration is very easy to be done. That's what we do with Proptech, and that's what we do very well with Delphis.
Yeah, there's also, I just put up a link of our integrations page. So there's a list there of companies that we are already integrated with, and we are constantly looking for new partners to be integrated with. So if you have a project or something that you think is interesting, reach out to Roman, also reach out to Thanos in other topics,
Yeah.
and we can all discuss together and work together to see how you can also be part of the Wattsense ecosystem and the Delphis ecosystem.
What I would like to highlight on that aspect is your end client is not our client. What your client wants to see is your brain, is what you do. Is a knife recommendation from Delphis, is a graph, is energy savings. That's the benefit of having Delphis. We can't do it, and we're not going to do it because that's a different job. Our job is the connectivity, so we can get data from equipment, integrate to you, and then you provide your solution with the added value that you will sell to your client. If you want to say your client that you're using Wattsense, great. If you don't want to say it, well, it's up to you. We just a brick of connectivity, but you've got a brain, you've got all your expertise on the specific topic as Delphis has on HVAC system.
So I have a question here for Thanos. Roman, you can also jump in. So it's from Miguel. He says, great presentation. Already loving Miguel. He's saying, how do you see a merge between a traditional BMS with little no override with your vision for the future with AI predicting for HVAC and grid flexibility activation? A lot of big words here, Miguel. Okay. Thanos, you take it away because I got lost with AI, grid activation, flexibility.
Okay, great. So, connecting to the traditional BMS is what we do with Wattsense, and we're doing it already. So that's the first part that can be solved. Maybe with some modification on the BMS side, you might need the integrator to give you some points, to be technically fair and clear. You might need some work there, but it's very feasible. We've done it. We've seen it. The projects we presented. Right now, we have access to all those BMS systems, and we also have access to the control points. We can send a command. We can turn off an air handling unit through the Wattsense box at this point. So the next part is that since the connectivity is there, how do you put a system and send these commands with a scope, with a goal? So I certainly see there are other companies. As Delphis, we're not a software company. So as a solutions, we are already actively working with other partners that they are doing the AI parts to connect to the HVAC and do the new control strategy. And to be honest, I can share more in a few months, I guess. We have some pilot projects active, and I see that happening. Also, the grid flexibility ecosystem approach. Other companies are doing the grid bidding. They are responsible of doing that part of the work. So we need to work all together. We need to get all the different companies that they are very, let's say, good on one thing, get them on board into the project. And since these solutions talk to each other, this future you are describing, Miguel, is totally feasible. That's how I see.
Okay, so any more questions, you guys, that I haven't addressed? I think Miguel is typing something. Let's see. We talked about the use cases where the protocols, that was from Guillaume. Let's see. Okay, so if anybody has any other questions right now, we have Phil that's typing something. Don't be shy. This is your opportunity. Alex is typing. I like that. Come on, get in there. Phil says it's all very good. Thank you. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, some thumbs up. Love it. So, guys, also what's important, you can reach Roman. We have the presentation here. You can reach Thanos. And if you have any more particular
Sure.
cases, contact them. We will also probably send you a little email to touch base after you've digest all of this information. And so glad to have you and join us during this interactive discussion. It's always really good. Oh, so Alex says he loves the first minutes. Don't worry. I'm wondering what the main reasons were for the speed advantage with using Wattsense to connect to building assets. I think this is for you, Tana. So, what is the main reason were for the speed advantage with using Wattsense to connect to building assets? Also, Roman, you can jump into this one.
Go on, Thanos.
Yeah, for me, two reasons. The one, Roman mentioned it in that beginning, that the library is there. So if the equipment is known to the Wattsense database, it's you click 3 times in your Wattsense console and you connect to the equipment. Second one, if you don't have the database, so Roman, allow me to overcome this. It might come.
Go on,
you might
absolutely.
have a connectivity, and Wattsense, it's not in the database. Your support team is super there. For me, the way we have collaborated those years, it took us 1 or 2 days to figure it out. I would send the spec sheet of the equipment. Your engineers would do their magic, and I think in less than 2 days, we had new equipment that was not in your library. So again, speed, is into your all this expertise that you have all those years, and the way you have built the product is towards plug and play. And for me, that's great. That's what we were looking for.
Okay, so Roman, there's also a question about the library and the equipment database. Is it a set of drivers? Or what is exactly our equipment database? If you can go.
We have a list of sensors commonly used in Europe and with our partner in Asia. We've got meters, we've got boilers, we've got some HVAC system, and the whole list, because I'm not going to name everything. The whole list is available on our website. I'm going to give a link right now on the chat. So we call it compatibility checker, and you type your properties, you type your equipment, and it tells you if it's compatible or not. By compatible, I mean it's been decoded. So if you're looking for a LoRaWAN sensor, it is on the list, great. If not, we will figure out how to get the codec and the payload, and we will integrate the equipment in a couple of weeks in our system so that it'll be available, of course, for you and for everybody else. So every week, our database of equipment increase, because the more equipment we have, the more clients we have, and the easiest is it for you to pair some equipment.
Okay, excellent.
But let's clarify, you don't need to install a driver in sense. It's embedded in your system, just technically to observe that. You don't need other solution, find a driver, install it. Oh, it's not installing different operating system. Oh my God, what I'm gonna do. Everything is embedded, and that's super great.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point, Thanos. And because all the configuration is on the cloud, if for any reason the equipment you are connecting change some parameters, it will automatically reflect on the cloud for everybody. So you don't have to do anything. Everything is pretty much done in terms of integration. Yeah. And that's why the integrators love our system, because they don't have to do the job over and over again. Everything is done on the cloud, and you don't have to set up or to download any configuration within the device.
Exactly. Okay. We have Daniel that's typing also, so maybe we still have a few minutes. So if you have any other questions, we're here. We have this time booked for you guys. So feel free to jump in, and also participate in the polls. Is on the bottom of the screen. We have a little poll to talk about the category that you feel yourself you belong to. So that also gives us an insight of what we are addressing or who we are addressing, and it also helps us create more content for you in the future. So we have Rene here. A shout out to Rene Amont. He's one of our distributors in Singapore and that area with Syncotech. excellent distributor. So he's shouting us out there. Thank you very much, Rene, for your support. And if you are in the region, feel free to reach out to Rene.
Yeah, he's been very active in Australia, in Hong Kong, up to Japan, New Zealand. We got a nice project together, and we're pleased that our solution meets your requirement, Rene.
Mm-hmm. So we also have a distribution network, and you can visit our distributors page. I will link to that. And we have distributors in France, in Germany, in the UK, Ireland, Nordic countries, and we're completely always expanding. So if you want to be a distributor for Wattsense, jump in, or if you want to contact someone in your region, feel free to do it.
As I mentioned previously, we address you as a client. We're not going to have project with your end client. That's not our job. So we have a network of distributors, some relays in various countries, which we're very happy with, and they advocate our solution, and they try to get a solution with some clients which are integrators. So we rely on them, and we are pleased with what we have right now. We're missing some countries, so if you have any idea, we are still open to suggestion. But in terms of country we have right now, we're quite pleased with that.
So I have a question for Thanos. As someone that works as a Proptech, that works with data services, what do you think are the main focuses that Proptechs and building owners should be focusing on in terms of building management for the next years, after taking into consideration the changes that are happening in the climate, after COVID, etc.? What do you think should be the main focuses for the building management sector?
I think the new control strategy, we need software agents to do the work in real time all the time. People will not be there. That's real life in the buildings. You won't have someone above the data trying to figure out what to do, even if you have a fault detection system. If you have some issues, we've seen it in reality. Knowing your faults and not having the right team or resources to deal with those problems and deal with your optimization strategy. So I do really see that, like the end slide, that we optimizing by control, we need software to do that, to optimize our buildings. And then the flexibility of the grid is super important. Renewables and decarbonization means that we need to put the buildings as active, flexible assets into the grid. That needs to happen. Otherwise, things will be slow.
That's a great answer. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's super insightful. So, Roman, one last question. I also have a question for you. You're not off the hook. Wattsense focuses on smart build and transforming buildings into smart buildings, small and medium-sized building. Why focus on that category of buildings? Why not go for large buildings?
Large buildings usually have already some kind of a BMS in place, and that's a different market, it's a different approach. We believe that there is so many buildings, especially in Europe and in Asia, that's required to be connected. So many buildings, such as a retail shop, schools, where the BMS is way too expensive to be installed. If you speak to any high school director or nursery, and you said that you need to spend 50 grand just to install a BMS, the answer is a big laugh. It's like, no, but thank you very much. So we believe that the market is there, but that building will have to be connected, not only with the badge decree, because now the energy is expensive, and you don't want to waste energy to heat up a room which is full, which is empty on a weekend. So that makes sense to go with this building. We got many places that will have to be connected soon. So for us, that's the main focus at the moment. Having said that, we still have some opportunity to use the very innovative conversion of protocol from LoRaWAN to backend IP, LoRaWAN to Modbus IP, because some buildings have a BMS, and you don't want to change everything. We just add a layer of technology on top of the existing BMS. So for that as well, the conversion can be very useful. But in terms of connecting a building, the main market right now is small to medium-sized building. let's say something around 500 to 5,000 square meter.
Okay. Very interesting. So any more questions? I've also put up a link here where we, if you want to have like the full demo experience with Roman, you can click there, or also just reach out by email if you want to, if you have a particular project. And also another question for you guys, just to finish up, we have the last couple of minutes. Thanos, what are things that are coming up for Delphis? New projects, new products, new features. What can you tell us? And then the same for Wattsense.
New projects, this is a period that the temperatures are really high, so the Delphis right now crew is really topped up. We have heat waves here. Our service business is getting really a lot of work. So usually summer is not kind of pushing new projects, because we are dealing with so many things during the heat waves. But I can tell you that we are expanding in terms of controlling solutions, and this is our main goal for the next year, to be able to add to our projects, data services projects, at the control layer. Moving from the data analytics, that's also growing. We have more and more projects coming, but we really want to move on this remote control automation. And this is what we're having. 2 or 3 pilots are set up for that, and we're working towards this direction. And in general, the company, right now, I can share with you in terms of HVAC that we have a very, very big portfolio. We're covering all kinds of units, and this is a new age for us. We really can be by the customer and cover all their needs in terms of HVAC and refrigeration.
Excellent. I think personally, something that we can say about Wattsense that's coming up or that we're working on right now is what we're growing as a team. We have been welcoming a lot of new members to our team on the embedded part, software engineers. On the technical support team, we're growing. We just had a new technical support engineer join us recently. And that allows us to provide even more support, develop more of our products and functionalities, and keep growing as a company. I think it's super important, and it's something that very positive that's happening, and we're really excited about. In terms of other things, no, I don't know if you want to add something else.
Yeah,
Roman.
we have to say that the experience working with Delphis was great. So we try to expand, of course, clients like that. Ideally, we'd love to get Delphis everywhere in various countries. That would be very good for us. So we keep this way to get more Proptech, more company in the field of expertise. It can be proactive maintenance, can be air quality, of course, energy performances, to give the best support for them. That's what we tend to do. And in terms of functionality, stay tuned. We've got a few functionality coming up with the next few months. We try, of course, to add new things which can make the experience of the integrator even easier to connect an equipment and to use our solutions.
That's great. And also, for those that are already users of Wattsense, we're always working on new updates and new functionalities, and you can get some updates via our users newsletter. And we're planning, in terms of marketing, we're planning on doing a webinar soon about all the new functionalities, or give an overview of our dashboard and our user console, so you can get an inside look. It's for users mainly, but I think also if you have never seen the Wattsense solution, keep an eye out for this webinar. That's going to be super interesting, and it will be done probably with our product manager, Julien Romain. We will have a French version and an English version, so you can participate in whatever suits you best. We think we're almost finishing up here, but we have some Jesse Lata saying that we had a great webinar. Thank you, guys. I'm taking some screenshots of this, sending it to our boss. And I have to say, thank you, Thanos, for joining us, giving us this incredible presentation with so much insightful information, and just telling your experience with the Wattsense solution and what Delphis can do to improve building performance. And thank you, Roman, as well, for giving us all this info.
Thank you so much. And thanks, everyone, for joining.
I think that's it. Roman, if you want to add anything else?
That's good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely day, and restful and not so hot week for those that are in Europe. So.
Bye.
Ciao, everybody.